Here, let me go ahead and click going live. Fantastic. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Yay. Oh, no, Jude, you were here early. Yeah, that was definitely 5 hours ago. All right. Hi, everyone. Hello. How are we doing? Hi, Kaylin. Hey, Ikello. Oh, Ikello. Let me know in Discord if you would like to pop on and join. You're more than welcome on the stage. If you are not prepared, I completely understand. But if you happen to be, hello ready or whatever, I should have planned that out ahead of time. Rochelle, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here because you're going to love the new things in Rexy. You guys, I come bearing new Rexy gifts. We will be working in Baby tonight because you guys are going to get to see the brand new debut of A slots. For those of you who don't know what an A slot is, it means you will be able to set what AI model you want to run on your Insta. So that means if you have like prompt 1, prompt 2, prompt 3, we're all cool to use Claude or OpenAI, but oh my gosh, we need to write some sexy times. You can make that Insta 4 a Mythomax, a Toppy, a Mistral XB or whatever. So you can literally set up your sequences and go empty the dishwasher. I always love Ryan Rivers for that. That was like his first reaction for sequences. It's sticking. It's like, don't be a T-Rex. Go empty your dishwasher, or do that load of laundry you forgot about. Because we all do as authors. All right. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Jorge. Hi, Roz. Hello. Tonight, I'm going to admit that I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. And hey, Dana, good to see you. Let me talk about this for a second. Okay, now, somebody has to be bleeding edge for AI for authors. Like, if I wasn't doing the work that I've been doing for the last year, I can guarantee you there are tools that are in the marketplace right now that would not be as far along as they are for where they are today. Okay, I'm going to be a little bit egotistical on that and say that my prompting techniques, my sequencing techniques, different things that I've been doing with fiction, chapter types and stuff, I have been an influencer in the AI space for over a year now. And I keep hearing people say that Rexy is complicated. It's not complicated. It's control. And there's a difference. I am really heart set on creatives controlling their destiny. I've been an author for over a decade and a half now. I have watched software companies sell and become something completely different than what they were beforehand. I have watched things change. I have built things in other people's playgrounds and then had the rug pulled from underneath me. Let me know in the chat if you, in your author career, have been working on something or working on a platform, especially social media, and suddenly the game changed. Suddenly the rules changed, the policy changed, and it wasn't against you necessarily, but it didn't align with your business goals, and suddenly you were out to lunch. Like you were just, there was nothing you could do. You had to suddenly pivot and change. So I come from that background. And so when we built Rexy, there were a couple of things that were very important to me. Number one, I wanted to work in documents. We use Notion because it's documents. There's a little bit of a learning curve for authors to learn Notion, but Notion is a very standardized piece of software. There's lots of tutorials out there on Notion. It's a very robust and long-standing piece of software for anyone to learn. And literally the components, the knowledge base, the information that you bring into your prompting and your projects, it's just a document. You don't have to have a special box. There's not special, like these are my setting boxes and these are my character boxes. And there was a reason for that, because we could have built a piece of software that had all these little boxes. Matter of fact, we have boxes in Rexy for the prompter and things like that. We're not like unable to make boxes. I just chose not to because I've worked with enough authors in my career to know that if one author wants boxes, another author wants a character list. And yet another author in the middle wants neither and just wants to pants. So again, Rexy is not complicated. Rexy is about control. Rexy is about learning software that is going to be able to do anything you want to do versus learning software and having to change how you do things to match the software. That was an important thing that I set out. Most software developers will not touch that, by the way, with a 10-foot pole. Most software development is what's called opinionated. They want to do something specific, and they don't want to do something that is loosey-goosey and open for other people. And I understand that. It would be kind of like the equivalent of asking us to write a book that the reader could change the ending. Like, yeah, I couldn't live with that. I don't think you could either. Software developers, that is their bread and butter. That is their craft. Their craft is their software. And so when they make software, they want to make something that's opinionated and that means something for them. I am not a software developer. I don't have an opinion on what my software does or doesn't do. I only care about serving authors. Another big thing about Rexy being control, and this will be the last thing I do on my soapbox. Y'all know I start with soapbox. And Ikelo is going to join us because he's messaging me here in Discord. So I know he'll have some things to say about all of these things too. Let me check the chat for the first thing about control. Okay, yeah. Don't tell me that someone said you're not an influencer. Oh, Lynn. No, it's just we're being called complicated. Complicated is what's making people feel comfortable about. They can't keep up with us, so we're just complicated. Rochelle's saying that she uses Rexy differently from how I use it. And because her writing method is different from mine, and it changes each time. Hi, Ingrid. Hi, Roz. Not personally, but I've seen so many people who have had it happen. Yeah, it definitely changes. So let me see if Ikelo's in the house. Not yet, but he'll be here in just a minute or two. Ikelo, I sent you the link. Not sure if he was able to get in. Hopefully he can. Or can people only join streams once they start? Are you able to join midstream? I think so, because it just puts them on the stage. So they should be able to join midstream. Oh, he's here. Are you ready? Good? All right, here he is. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Kello. He's a little muted. Sorry, y'all. We just threw this together. This was not planned. I was a bad producer. Not plan ahead.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. This will be good. You can be with me for the first hour, and I think Ryan Rivers is going to join me for the second. So this will be great. So, control. Rexy being we're still waiting.
All right.
Well, we'll let him finish with his setup and everything like that. But
all right, I wanted to put that on a. There we go. That's
different
better.
Thing.
Can you hear me?
I can. We're all good to go.
Why can't I hear you? You're in the show.
I don't know. But you might want to move your mic up a little bit because now you have this weird little thing.
Maybe.
Here.
Test.
Yep, I can hear you. But you have a nice little like unicorn thing going. There you go.
There we go. There we go.
It was not flattering.
All right, I will turn that up and put that over there.
Hello in the house.
All right. So, okay.
So we have a couple of questions here. Yep, Kaylin. The Discord chat is only for subscribers. No, you're in the chat right now. Ikelo and I are Discord friends, but also the Future Fiction Academy does have a Discord for its members, like a guild. We do have, though, that even if someone just joins the Future Fiction Academy for a month, you remain an alumni, so you still stay access inside the Discord. If you've ever purchased, basically, Future Fiction Academy, you're a member of the community. And that began because, again, about control. At the time that the Future Fiction Academy started, it wasn't safe out here to be an author using AI. There was a lot of backlash. I have some 1-star reviews to go with that. So we wanted to make sure that our Discord was a safe space for people who were either professional authors or seriously pursuing a professional author career.
Oh, I see what's going on. Now I keep changing my angle of my camera, and it seems as though the camera that I wanted to use is
it responding? There you go.
That
camera 1 and camera 2.
Yes, camera 1 and camera 2. Yeah, there I am.
That's good. Yeah, got better headroom there.
I know, for real. God bless it. I kept pulling it up and pulling it up, and
Jorge was helping you out.
Thank you.
He's our professional video editor, so he's really hip with all the video stuff.
See, the camera looks better. It's got
Mm-hmm.
that thing over to the side. Everything's great. All
Yeah,
right,
blue and
so
green.
let's talk about whether I mean, okay.
Rexy,
I
complicated or control?
I I I found that there's this weird thing that happens as I go through my course work at the FFA is that the more control I get, the more control I want. And
Mhm.
I realized that there's these moments where I'm like, oh, okay, if I do this and I shape it that way, then it all changes into something that I want it to do.
Yep.
There's a thing that I noticed that Steph does that I do a lot. I had the first uh, um, line in this book. I'd read this, these series of books on how to plot and what's the best thing, how to hit people in the face with all of that stuff. And I got this moment where I had this guy's like, you effed up, as the first line in the whole book. And then it would cascade down and I would have the whole action scene work out. And for the life of me, I kept trying over and over again to get that style, that type of thing to happen. And I realized that even when I was working in other programs, uh, several, not just one, several different programs, I kept getting these results that I hadn't intended, but I kept thinking to myself, I want to have it happen that way, and it's happening this way. And so I started digging into it. Dag nabbit, it's doing things I don't want it to do.
No.
And when you showed me the prompter, when I saw the lesson on the prompter, I always think you show me because I see you on lessons, see you live, see you on lessons, see you live.
When I'm in Labby Kello, it's only to teach you.
Yes, yes, it is. That
It
is
is.
exactly.
It's all about you.
Just so you know, everybody, that's
Just so
one
you
of the
know.
cool things about it.
But
Is that
actually, when
it
they're in
does
lab
feel
too,
like that. It does feel like that, though.
when they're in lab, it's all about them as well. That's one of the reasons why we teach in a lab format versus what just like we do provide the just watch this video and get all the summary and stuff. But I think teaching live is something that's really lacking in author education because you can't ask that question. You can't ask that. You can't go back and forth and you can't feel like anybody cares about you. And we're
Yeah,
really big
and
about that in the FFA.
one of the biggest things that have changed with the advent of the new year is
Mhm.
the format at which the classes are. So, some of you may not have known this. I've been in the FFA for a while, but I've also kind of really started getting deeply into my coursework with the FFA for about the last 6 weeks. Wouldn't you say,
Mhm.
Elizabeth?
Yeah, I think about 6 weeks ago, I was like, listen, you're in. You need to be coming. You have these questions, and we answered them 3 weeks ago.
Yep,
So
uh-huh. And so I would make these videos and she'd be like, I figured this out. We could talk about that. And I was
we
like,
can talk about
oh.
it.
And I was like, oh, okay. And so now my video, I feel like the videos that I'm making now feel much more relevant to the current thing,
Hmm.
talking about synthetic data. Even though it didn't get a lot of views, it still was an important video because there are these
Absolutely.
primers that all right, so here's my big thing about synthetic data. I think it's actually great. I just think that you, as the author, you should be specific. You should be the person that puts your spin on it, that starts out your sentence or starts out your whole book with a bunch of expletives because something's happening. And maybe you won't even say who said that.
Right.
You just have the words out there and then the rest of the scene happens. Those sorts of things, uh, you build your data set, and as you build these specific things to you and your data set,
Hmm.
just in case you're wondering why I'm saying data set with such emphasis, is because this is all the basis. Like right now, I'm going through my coursework. I'm one lesson behind, but I'm going through my coursework for fine tuning.
Hmm.
It is a process for which you have to build a data set. And there's so many other things that happen in order for you to understand what your data set is. Um, one of the biggest things, one of the biggest things is understanding your style, understanding who you are, and not who you think you are.
No, but what the AI thinks. And we had a great live yesterday with Ryan Rivers and Steph Pajonas going through that data set stuff. And I'm sure you're going to end up doing something on your channel before too long about
Hmm.
fine tunes and data sets. And I think
Yeah.
it's important that we get this information out to people. How do you build a fiction data set? Because we found things like validation loss has really no bearing on writing fiction. We are getting fantastic results out of fine tunes that under other circumstances, if you were just in like a machine learning or AI group or something like that, they would be
Yeah.
like, oh, 1.8, 1.9, that's horrible. That's worthless. Listen, it's writing great dialogue. So I don't care about your validation loss number.
And
I just
especially
care
if you,
about what it's
yeah.
writing.
And depending on the way you build your brief for your scene,
Mm-hmm.
which by the way, if y'all haven't like gotten on the boat about this, I appreciate the succinctness of the beat, but there is a larger way to think about formulating scenes, formulating chapters, entire chapters. So if I were y'all, I would start thinking a lot about uh, the more expansive ways that you can use AI to like understand the essence of the scene, talk about the little things that would never be brought up in a beat.
Yes.
Something that you can't see because of the you aren't looking at it from 10,000 feet. And so you can't have this thing that happens and weaves its way through the entire scene unless you're writing an entire brief, an entire synopsis dossier that expresses motivations and rises and falls. So you really should think more expansively than just the beat.
Right.
And in that, you will find your voice, and your voice is the data set. It
And
is yeah.
the
Go ahead.
important thing about beats is y'all need to know the history of where beats comes from.
Hmm.
So originally, I called them commands. And I'm saying I because it was January of last year that a group of us were working with ChatGPT 3.5, and we were trying to figure out how to make it follow a set of instructions and write a scene. Now, this is before I ever joined the pseudo write team. This is before, oh yeah, I've got the thumbs up things. This was back when I was running the intro to AI authors class through my Gumroad. And I was a one woman show. I was like, well, can't find any, like I was learning friends who were in this space and everything like that. And I'm not saying we invented beats because beats has always already existed. That's why we didn't call them beats back then. We called them commands. And it was literally a list of about 10 through 15 commands that would say what happens and how to write it. Because we were working with the OG 3.5 ChatGPT. It did not have 16,000 tokens of context. It only had 4,000 tokens of context. So beats comes from a time when you literally had only 2,700 words to work with for both instructions and output.
That means everybody. That means that you only had a very short amount of tokens to be your brain, the
Yes,
thing that referred to other things within your brain, and so
RAG
the everything had to be short. Everything had
RAG
to
did
be
not
very
exist
short.
yet.
No,
Not as it does today. It wasn't around.
no.
There was no fine tuning other than fine tuning Babbage at the time and embeddings. Actually, I don't even know that was really readily available to everybody. I think it was only available to like academics and stuff. It wasn't available to outside customers. No fine tuning was available to like just Joe Schmo off the streets coming in to OpenAI.
Right.
So understanding that beats comes from a time of working with large language models that were actually not so large at the time in terms of their output,
Yeah.
you can understand that we were working with a constriction that doesn't exist today. And
Yeah.
so people have attached themselves to this idea that writing with AI means writing beat by beat. And I get that if you're a pantser, but if you're a plotter, you should probably have moved on by now to writing briefs and sequences and really leveraging that context window. in order to do a much deeper dive into your prompting and everything like that.
Mm, unfair to talk about the sequencing thing because a lot of other programs don't actually have the ability to sequence, but Rexy does have the ability to sequence. And just in case anyone's wondering what that even means,
Oh, I'm going to show
it's
it in a few minutes.
did I
Mhm.
did I was about to jump your gun?
No, you weren't. You're doing a
Oh,
great intro. Go ahead. So, what is sequencing?
sequencing. Think about this. What if you wanted to iterate on a theme? Or what if you wanted to write an entire novella in like an afternoon and you wanted to do all of that efficiently and in your voice? So maybe you have a bunch of system instructions or a bunch of things that you put together and you're trying to iterate inside of ChatGPT or something like that, and you're just not getting what you want. Well, a sequence of
Mhm.
events happens in linear order. So you can write instructions and then put that in all of those instructions in, and then once you have all of your instructions filled in, let's say 10 instances of your instructions filled in, then you can run that as a sequence and it will either go through your same chapter 4 times, 6 times, and make it better or run it with different AI because I got a chance to look at that last night.
And we're
Uh,
showing it today. Yeah, I've got
yes,
to
and
show
you're
it
showing it
today,
today,
maybe.
and so you can have all of this ability to iterate sequentially on either the same theme and see what comes out at the end, and then you do your validation, or you could write a bunch of chapters in a row and then do your validation.
Yes.
And and it gets even better once you put a fine tune in there that already knows your voice, and you'll have a brief that has motivation for the scene, and
Hmm.
all of those things are working together to really kind of write what you are, not what other people think you are, not what you think you are, but what the AI thinks you are.
Yeah.
And you usually get really kind of what you are.
And it's not about it being complicated because these are things that people are doing all the time manually.
I'm an actor for a living, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm a barista and an actor for a living.
Yeah.
I did that for years and years, y'all. This is not rocket science.
I have a degree in political science. I do not have a degree in tech or anything like that.
Feel you, girl.
So Rexy is not complicated. It's about control for the creative. And then the
Yeah.
last thing I wanted to talk about before we jump into Rexy, and this is why it's important to me. It's the last little thing about soapboxing that I promised you at the beginning of it. It was important to me that when we built Rexy, this is going to be vulgar, so apologies. We did not have authors by the short hairs. And let me explain that, okay? There is I'm not going to explain what the meaning of that thing is, but there is, the sunk cost fallacy. When you use a piece of software and it's just too difficult to move to something else. How easy is it for you, Ikello, if you are working with Rexy and it writes to your Notion pages, if you decide you want to go work with some of that stuff into ChatGPT or Novel Crafter or Pseudo-Write?
It's just a matter of exporting the page from Notion, and then it's
Or copying and
usually,
pasting from Notion into it? Like,
or even copy and pasting. I mean, I'm talking about like if you want it to be something definitive that can either go in a Scrivener or into a Google Doc or whatever you want, you can just export it as a markdown, and it's kind of
and
hunky
it goes
dory.
right into Scrivener. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was the important thing. In other words, is your data trapped in Rexy at
Yeah.
any time?
No, actually, it's never in Rexy. To be honest, it's actually just processed by Rexy, and
Yeah.
as long as you have auto log and auto write on, everything just automatically goes over there. I haven't had to cut and paste anything for a while. I'm a little and when things happen that I actually have to do some cutting and pasting, I get a little frustrated, but I also understand what tools I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Rexy's great because it's good for either idea generation or actual word generation or manipulation of plots, whatever you want. You can build different prompts from different aspects of the library to kind of make up a prompt of your own. You can look at prompts, you can copy things and make and use your own imagination to make to like further the prompt on for your specific
Yes.
genre, meaning like sci-fi or crime drama or whatever it is, right?
Right.
And then you can do anything you want. You can take all of that information that you built in the library and drop it into a prompter and then start iterating on it. And eventually, what is I'm really excited about is that the chat function is going to get some much more comprehensive functionality to it, so that we can then use a lot of that information inside of that chat too, because
Yes.
that is a avenue that really can be just expanded upon. There's so many
Bubble.
avenues.
I literally had a meeting on it this afternoon. Bubble chat is coming, and I can tell you that it'll be here before February 1st because,
Woo!
So Bubble chat. For those who don't know what Bubble chat is, this is your girl, Elizabeth, designing software, not as a software designer, but a software developer, but as what do authors need? When y'all write with chat and you're done with your chat, you're like, okay, cool, I did this cool thing with ChatGPT. Now what do I have to do? What is the most aggravating thing that you have to do next? Copy and paste.
Yeah.
Bring it in.
Yeah.
And then if you want to use it, you have to clean it up. You have to take your stuff out or just clean that up, delete. And then I have these feelings about deleting words. Those of you who know in the chat, I have emotions. I cannot delete
We're
words.
not gonna call her a hoarder.
I'm a dragon when it comes to words. I'm like, those were words. We can't delete those. I know Lynn Jordan's the same as me.
Cave. This woman's got a huge cave full. The walls are lined with words that she will never throw away.
The day that I was first able to export my chat GPT, which was like the beginning of end of spring or whatever, when they finally brought that capability, I had over 1 million words I had already run in ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So like, I really do not throw words away, people. That is not in my repertoire.
Yeah, it's actually almost counterintuitive, but sometimes there's just a freaking piece of gold in there, and you go, "Oh my god, I can't throw that away."
Kaylin and Lynn are on board with this. They're like, "No, must save all the words."
I wish I could see the chat from YouTube in here, but I guess I cannot.
No, it doesn't come into here, but you can see it. So I just have YouTube in a separate chat. That's what in a separate tab. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do.
So I'm low tech. I'm a low tech girl. Sometimes I'm like, I can make it work manually, but
I'm into it.
So yeah, that's the last thing. I know we're at 30 minutes in, and you guys have been super patient. And what you don't know, Ikello, is I told them to give us some story ideas, because we're going to sequence a quick little novella, something small. And we have some ideas in the chat here, including.
Oh, I can now see what's going on, and I'm looking at the chat. Right
Yeah, keep all the words. Yes, Harper, I'm with you on that. So the point is just that Rexy is about control. And if you all would help me get that word out, because it's exhausting enough, the work that we have to do here. And I'm really getting tired of the constant comparisons of Rexy to other software that it was never built to compete with those people or those software titles, because those software titles wouldn't be doing some of the things that they're doing and that they're going to do in the very near future if FFA hadn't done it first and like helped ease the way, maybe not pave the way, because they're coming behind the FFA. They're going to make it slicker. They're going to make it easier to use. They're going to make it better for authors who are at that beginner to intermediate level. I can't serve everybody. We can't serve everybody. The Future Fiction Academy can't serve everybody. But what we can do is we can be the explorers and the pioneers, paving a way for the future for our industry so that we are not left behind. And that is the kind of the reason that Future Fiction Academy exists.
Yeah. And the cool thing about the Academy, at least to me, is knowledge is power. Mm-hmm. The more you know, the better you're going to be in the publisher apocalypse, if that ever comes, where every publisher has their own machine that is cranking out. Danielle, who has been who has passed on from this universe, Steel.
She has not. No, she's not. No, she's not.
No, I'm saying it's going to build.
Oh yeah, at some point, yes.
So that when she has passed on, when Mr. Patterson is nothing but a distant memory and a namesake, when all those things happen, just like Pete Carroll or Bill Belichick losing their job.
Either, Ikello.
losing their jobs. What I'm saying is everything moves on, right? And everything
Yes.
moves on, and you can't be the person that has the thing move on without you because you don't have the knowledge. I'm not saying that you have to get it from the FFA,
No.
because this is not this place isn't the beat all the end all for information. There's lots of good information out there. I'm just saying to you, have the due diligence to learn before you get left behind. I don't want that
Yeah.
to happen to people.
And we're always happy to help people catch up. I literally just had a meeting today with a longtime member of the FFA, and they had some personal setbacks, and it was like, I'm really behind, and I can catch anybody up in about 30 minutes because, again, it's not complicated. It's just about control. So let's go play. You want to go right and play?
Oh, let me put on my glasses.
All right.
Yeah, here we go, y'all. Here we
All
go.
right, here we go. So I will let you mute yourself or unmute yourself at your whim.
I am
I'm going to not show our faces, so we are just showing the screen because that's what people have asked for.
I'm literally going to take
So we're
my
going to do
mic off.
cinema mode. And hopefully if Ryan Rivers joins us, he will ping us. And again, I did put the link in there, so if anybody else wants to join in on the Reindeer Fund, how's that look for you guys? Oh, that's probably like way too big. That's like ginormous. 125%. I think that's probably nice and big for everybody. And the I like the female assassin dating with bad luck. I think that's what we're going to go with. We're going to do. So what about a female assassin dating who finds out she has to kill the person she just went on a date with? Does that sound like a good thing?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. So we are, by the way, your notes are here. No, your notes are here. They are linked. I do have a link to the Future Fiction Academy calendar. I did want to mention this. The reason I shared it is because this calendar, y'all, has all of our lives on YouTube so that you guys can see them. Even if you're not a member of the Future Fiction Academy, you can at least know when our upcoming YouTubes are. They are always the little clapper boards. If it's a pencil, it's actually right with me in our Discord. Again, once you're a member of the Future Fiction Academy, we love you forever. So you would just become an alumni and you can still participate and write with me, even if you decide it's not for you long term. We also do have anything else like Club Strat projects and classes and Rexy classes. Those are only going to be for Future Fiction Academy members. And if you are a Future Fiction Academy member, don't forget, we do also have this little one-page planner for this quarter. So you guys can start stamping it for when you've attended class or you've watched class to make sure you've done all of the classes for the quarter if you want to do that, if you're a completionist. And no judgment, because I am too. And then we also have this link to the quarter one curriculum guide, which has the information about how we work, all of our classes, and also our projects. So our projects are right here. We have some 6-week projects with Write a Series book, which hasn't started yet, y'all. You can still join the FFA and be a part of that project from the get-go. Fine tuning did start 2 weeks ago, but you can catch up. Ikello, you said you were one class behind.
I sure am.
On fine tuning?
Sure am. Yes,
All right,
I am.
so yeah, you'll catch up. Serialization starts this week with Steph Bajonas. So if you've been hot about Ream and everything like that, serialization is probably the project for you. And the projects are 6 weeks of classwork. You can watch the replay. You don't have to make the exact time that they're there. And that way you finish something as part of the FFA, because we serve authors and we know how hard it is to do that. We also have working with existing series. So even if you just came for the projects, I think it's worth the money. And then our special topics, which is a nice little segue that Mr. Ikello Harris will be teaching. I almost called you Harris, but it's Herod, right?
It is sure Herod.
Herod.
You know, like the king, baby.
Like the king. Well, actually, I think it's spelled differently, but yes, pronounced the same.
Oh, no, I meant like the pronunciation.
Oh, yeah. So yes, Ikello Herod will be a special topics teacher in 2 weeks in the FFA. So you'll be able to come see him. Okay, so we are going to be in Baby Rexy tonight. So for those of you who are following along who are members of the Future Fiction Academy, you want to be in your Baby Rexy. And let me go ahead and talk just a brief second about the changes that have happened. Number one, we have consolidated prompter and library into their own thing right here. So library is right here on the left-hand side, your prompter. We did this because we needed room for chat. That's really what happened. But also, I always found it kind of wonky to like load the prompt and then have to click again to go to another tab. For those of you who are in the know, you know that Prompter was our very first feature on Rexy. So that's why it had kind of like extra tabs and everything like that. So that's just a small change. And we'll be using the Prompter in a little bit because we're going to use it for that story idea that you guys have. So chat is right here. And we do have the basic chat where you can add in the system chat, but bubble chat's coming. So don't get too attached to chat because it's getting EAW-fied. We have our wonderful line editor and our word banger. And then where this says LLM tuner, I'll just show it real fast for those of you who haven't seen it. Ikalo showed this on his channel, and that was amazing. This tool literally takes the prompts that you build for your data set and turns it into the JSON-L scripting format that's escaped out all the characters that you need to upload to OpenAI to make your own fine-tune. So Rexy does give you the ability to make your own fine-tune. And a little show our faces again, Harry Kello. A little birdie told me that, well, actually it wasn't a little birdie, it was me. I asked for us to be able to bring a JSON-L file into the fine tuner. So it'll load it into the boxes so that we can fix our data sets if they don't, so that we don't have to start all over again. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So you'll be able to work. So we already have, like, you can work from prompts to data set, but you'll also be able to put in a data set and then get the prompts and just change the prompts. And that'll make it easier for me to teach people too. So I can build them some basic data sets that they make changes to.
So we can use some of the shared data
Synthetic
sets
data.
that were the shared synthetic data things that we've been building
Yes.
to, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And
that is
it's
cool.
important. We're talking about shared synthetic data. We talked yesterday. Do not use other people's data without permission. Do not use other people's data sets without licensing permissions and all that. There is a higher risk of plagiarism with fine tunes because we're using such small data sets. It does sometimes pull very specific phrases out of your human writing. So if you're using another human's writing and you don't have permission for that, you're running the risk of having phrases that you don't even realize that are in the data set being put into it.
Yeah, that was the first thing that I was literally scared about when I thought to myself, well, I hope no one is out there building any data sets that are that have any like bodies thing, because people have their own voice, so they say things a certain way.
Yep.
And you start pulling out specific phrasing, then it's going to know. I mean, and somebody who's investigating it will probably know. So you know.
So it's just not worth it, and nobody wants to be treated that way. And, you know, I can't stop the bad actors. This is not like Elizabeth is going to single-handedly, like, I'm not that superhero that can stop everybody who's going to take ebooks apart and make fine tunes and stuff. That's why you need to be very wary when people start coming out with these products that I tell you right now, they're coming. They're coming. This afternoon, I had a ebook marketer AI maker or whatever, and it'll make an ebook for you in one click. So what's going to come next is the fine tunes. Like, we have a fine tune so you can write like Stephen King or whatever.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay. So back to the computer, and let me just check if there's any questions so far. They like big. They like that. Rochelle Ayala says, can you default the elements to the N slots instead of the S slots? We can ask for that. I agree with that, Rochelle, because we don't really use S slots too often. And Mig says, getting AI to write in my style, fine-tuning allows you to plagiarize yourself. Exactly. Plagiarize yourself. Don't plagiarize other people.
And if you there's a lot of authors who have established careers and lots and lots and lots of stuff and data sets to pull from. So they could really go to town with this.
Yep. And this isn't to say that LLMs are plagiarism machines, because I know that they got called that. No. It's a very big difference when you're talking about a data set that's only 100,000 tokens versus a data set that's billions of tokens. So billions of tokens, you're running into like lottery ticket odds there for it to just randomly spit out stuff for you. Now, if you happen to say, I want this author, this name, and oh, by the way, here's a URL to go pull the information. Right. Yeah, the LLM's going to go fetch that for you. But if you're just prompting, like, describe me a rose bed or something like that, or you put in some unique prompting, which is what you should do, you're very unlikely to get it. Like I say, it's lottery ticket odds. So play the Powerball, y'all, right? All right, so let me go home. And the other thing that's new in Rexy, it's running right now. Did he forget I was working in baby tonight? Okay, good. We're all good. All right, so the new thing that's coming is our that's coming to production probably by Monday. These are your AI settings right here. Now this works a little bit differently than maybe what people would expect. So I'm going to overview it, and then we're going to actually use it for our little short story with the assassin. No, do not deploy in baby Rexy, Joseph. Or why are you doing that, Joseph? You're putting up baby Rexy. Hold on a minute. I
I'm
am
having issues
in
too. I'm like,
baby
what's
Rexy.
happening?
I am live.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Like I said, y'all, we are not software. We are not software. We are not software developers. We are just authors playing.
No deployment schedules or anything.
No,
Everything's just happening. Everything's just happening.
I literally had a meeting with him. Like we
So,
do these
like,
things. I'm sorry, I have to show faces again. I had a meeting this afternoon and we reviewed that I would be live in Baby Rexy to show the new features.
sometimes this happens.
Honestly,
Sometimes it happens.
Joseph is such a great developer. Basically, I asked for those the ability for the JSON-L files to go in and turn into those boxes. He's already got it done, so that's what he was going to deploy. So I mean,
Move fast and break things.
well, he doesn't break stuff, but I
That's
do.
what's so amazing about him.
I know.
That's what's so amazing. He like literally deploys things like on a daily basis, and they're right, not wrong, absolutely right off the bat. I have this strange feeling that somebody is being enhanced by artificial intelligence.
No, well, yes, but what y'all don't know is that he and I work together, and like he does all the coding for sure. I don't touch that stuff,
No.
but he will put things into baby, and I don't always announce it when it's in baby at first. So I play on it. So if I find anything, he can fix it right away, and then we let people know that it's in baby, and then we deploy it. And a new feature that's coming, probably should have had it a while ago. Apologies, this is on me. We will now have. Well, because I know better. I know better. The worst thing when you're using software in a cloud is when you're on deadline and suddenly it's going to reboot or whatever. So some features that are coming this weekend when he deploys to production, there's going to be an announcement. Actually, I forgot to do the announcement. I was supposed to do the announcement. Okay, I'm announcing it. 10 to 11 Pacific time today. Maybe if Steph's watching, she could put this into the announcements on the Discord for me because I totally ADHD forgot to do this. Between 10 and 11 p.m. Pacific time tonight, production Rexy, so the regular Rexy at Rexy.futurefictionacademy.com is going to reboot because we are bringing in warning messages. We are rebooting to bring in warning messages. So there'll be a red warning message up at the top to let you know that there's a scheduled push of new features so that you don't lose any work. So you can know in advance that Rexy is going to deploy and refresh or what have you. So
can I suggest that everyone make sure that your auto write is all set up and that your Notion is all set up? Don't be foolish. Don't be a young person where the young person decides I can jump off this large cliff into that water and nothing will happen to me. Don't do that. Don't do that.
The other thing
just back it up.
Coming to very soon is session memory. That'll be in a few weeks where, so you know how like you set everything up in Rexy and then you have to leave and then you have to like open Rexy again and you have to set up all your blackjacks again, all your projects again, all your, like you have to, no, we'll have a button that you just go and it'll be right where you left off.
So is this a dynamic thing or is it something that you're going to have to go back and refresh and re-hit to have your session refresh?
It will save automatically to your cache for your browser, but we will also have a button that you can override it so that you can go like, I want to save from this point so that you basically, it's set.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Someone described this as the Photoshop of writing, and that's a very good analogy in the way that it is whatever you make of it. If you want to only work with letters and bubbly letters and almost 3D-ish stuff in Photoshop, you could do that. If you wanted to work in old vector art that you now are compositing together as a thing with some photos, you can do that. And
Mhm.
that means that oh my gosh, that's what I love about Rexy. I want to talk about it more on my channel, but I have this feeling that there's these things that people will just not get because they have no access to the software. And so I'll say something offhanded that they'll just go, "What in the world is he talking about?" But it's that innovative. Every
Mhm.
day I think of something new I can do with it and a way that I can do it. I'm trying
Yeah.
to build a machine right now that goes from idea like really good brain dumpy idea, to all the way through to giving you reports, giving you actual scene things, all the way to the point where it stops you at after the characters are all generated and everything is ready to go. And then you
You and
go and
me
you do,
both.
oh,
And
and to
many of
do,
them
oh,
know. I have the blueprint.
yeah, I know, I know. I really should write. I really should write mine down. I'm trying to do it without writing it down, and that's just a mistake.
Okay, so on that note, let's go do this assassin, shall we? Let's
Hmm.
go make this assassin come alive here. So checking the notes or the chat, everybody's good.
So, all right. So, say one more time to me. What is the scenario that we are
We're
going
going to
for?
find out from the AI. We're just going to give it a little bit here.
Okay.
All right, so I am in Rexy. So I'm in baby Rexy. Let me refresh. Let me rephrase and be clear. I'm in baby Rexy. So if you're in Rexy, you don't see this. You don't see chat yet, and you're not going to see these lovely A slots that I love so much. So a little bit about A slots. Number one that I want you guys to all kind of note is that your update button here in what I'm calling the default panel. This is the default panel. Like this is the AI that would run right now, right? Grith, Mythomax, everybody knows that. I want you to get into the habit of when you set this, I want you to always click the update button. The
Something I had to
reason,
learn the hard way.
well, yeah, it's a really good habit to get into anyway,
Hmm.
because what that does is let's go ahead and make that AI setting number 5. So I'm going to, you'll see right here,
Hmm.
all of these are always kind of like defaulted to OpenAI 3.5 Turbo, blah blah blah. So up here, let's go ahead and make it Mythomax, and we'll go ahead and bring that temperature down to 0.7. And the top K doesn't matter for Mythomax. It doesn't use that. Top P is good. The repetition penalty is what Mythomax does use, so we'll keep that at 1. And the maximum length is okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click Update. Now that I've clicked Update, I can come down to this AI Settings 5. And which button do you think I'm going to push, Ikello? Make the default or set a slot?
I know for a fact, because I was playing around with it today, that it is set a slot. It is
All
not.
right.
It
It
is not.
is.
Yes, it's not necessarily apparent. But if you think about it this way, everybody,
Mm-hmm.
this AI setting number 5, is the slot.
Yes,
Okay,
this is the
so
slot.
that's the slot. So you're taking the thing that's in the default that's at the top, and then
Yep.
you're using that thing that's at the top to populate the slot, which is what you're looking at right here, which is AI setting number 5.
Yep. And not to be confused with Mambo number 5, but
Hmm. Don't
a
get me
little,
started. You know I will.
a little bit of Mythomax in your life.
Oh, girl. It's like, say that.
I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna sing the actual lyrics. We don't want to get a copyright claim, so it was a parody, y'all.
You could literally do a mambo like
Mambo number 5 about the AI models. All
anyway, go
right.
ahead. All right, don't
So
get us started. We will go off the rails, y'all.
I
Go
have a
ahead.
feeling after this, people are going to be like, "We need the Elizabeth Kello hour every week in our lives."
I feel like you're a rapper hype man. Every once in a while you say something and I go, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So the set a slot or set a slot is the button that you want to use to get the default into your AI settings. Which begs the question, Elizabeth, why the heck does it have the make the default button? What does that mean?
Oh,
Well,
how? Oh, can I tell? Can I say? Can I say?
you can say if you want to.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay, so think about it like this, everybody. If you like those settings and you want to like make those settings like all of the different slots, right? You can make that thing the default up at the top, and then you can reset all of the slots to that
Yeah.
to that thing. It's kind of great.
Yeah.
It's you've got the settings like you want them almost, and then you make that the default, and then you can tweak them a little bit, and then populate other ones. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. So we'll talk about a couple of different ways that you can use this.
All right.
So
All
we'll
right.
go back to cinema mode.
I was gonna
I knew you were going to be animated, so I had to show you
Oh,
there.
I
So
do like to move my hands.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So make the default. So let's talk about Word Banger, for example. So I'm going to open up Word Banger. I should probably clear my Word Banger because I was working on some not safe for work stuff a little earlier.
Let's not put that on the YouTubes.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I do not label my videos that they're for kids, so it's fine. I mean, this is all writing. We do
Me
torture
neither.
scenes and sex scenes on this all the time.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. But I feel a little bit guilty if I'm just working with AI and a little C words pop out there. So okay, so talking about the Big Bang Box and Rexy. Inside of Baby, you'll now see on your Insta slots the ability to change the AI setting. This little slash here is the default. This little like hyphen, and thank goodness Joseph's in the chat because he can correct me if I'm wrong. So what this will do is it will use whatever is in this default spot, provided you have also clicked the update button. So this is only going to match whatever this button says, or or what's in the default that you have said update, as long as you have clicked update.
That effectively adds an extra slot.
It does. It does indeed. And then you have 1 through 5. Now, what's helpful about this is because we have this added functionality now of like make the default. Let me show you. Let's go ahead and do not Mythomax. Let's go ahead and compare. Why not? We'll do Open Router. So Mythomax is my favorite. Why don't we do Mythomax compared to Mixtral? Sound like a good idea?
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah. So I'm going to turn prompt assist on these because I'm not going to actually format my prompt in a decent way. I'm going to click my update button, and then I'm going to come down to setting number 4 and set a slot. So now I have this one. And you know what? I need to fix this one because it says prompt assist false, and that would be unfair. The prompt assist is for Open Router. Open Router does some extra formatting for us where it will put it into the right format for you system-wise, prompt-wise instructions with the 3 hashtags. If you are someone who wants to do your 3 hashtags in your prompting, because again, you want control, then you can turn prompt assist off, and that way you have full control over the prompt. But for today, I'm going to go ahead and use that. So I'm going to make the default, and when I do that, it's up here. I can turn prompt assist on, click update. Always
and then
click update.
becomes the 6th slot.
And now I'm going to update this one because it says prompt assist false, and I'm going to set this slot so now it says true.
Wow.
So now I have my settings 5 and 4, and we can now do a head-to-head comparison of models with Open Router Griff Mythomax or Open Router Mistral AI. So I kind of want to see how well these things can give me a story idea. So I'm going to say, give me a short novella story idea for a female assassin who has a steamy, sexy first date with a man, and then learns she has to kill him as he is her mark. The story should be no more than 5 scenes and end with a grisly murder made to look like a suicide. Okay, so I'm going to say I wanted to give me an idea.
Jeez, that's great.
Write me a pair. Well, you know what? Here's the crazy thing. Let me go back to us for a second. Okay, so This is why I am not a software developer full time. I am a story creative person because do you know I already saw the ending of the story? Here's the ending of the story. The last thing that happens after she kills this man is her dating profile on her phone gives her another match.
Oh.
You gotta have the twist, baby.
I once wrote a short film with a friend of mine called Flash Drive, and at the end of the whole thing, uh, the woman who is supposed to be loving to this man and all this stuff ends up killing him and all of his friends and everything because she's got to clean the place up because everything went to hell.
Yep.
And
So,
it's the last thing he would have ever expected. So, oh yeah, girl.
yeah.
All
So
right.
we're gonna make this a little twist. All right, we'll go back to the computer now.
All right.
Okay, so that is what we are working on here. And let me make sure I've got my project all set up. So you guys do have a link to this project, by the way. This is all going to write to my auto write. I'll turn that on and you'll have this link right here. The other thing that I wanted to show, I've talked about this a little bit, is that because it's not going to be student talk, it's going to be January 12th. And I need to change the project. The project needs to be that live January 12th project. So we'll load that project. So this is going to be Mythomax versus Mistral. And I want to show another cool feature about the word banger too here, because this is going to be the Mythomax versus Mistral. I should probably spell Mistral right. I think the people in France would prefer that. Okay, so I've updated my auto write and my auto log. So coming back to my AI settings. So if I want to do this head-to-head thing, give me a short novella story idea for a female assassin who has a steamy, sexy first date with a man, and then learns she has to kill him as he is her mark. The story should be no more than 5 scenes and end with a grisly murder made to look like a suicide. Write me the story synopsis in paragraph form. Okay, so I'm telling it what I want to have happen. So that will be the first prompt there. And so we run this as a sequence.
Yeah.
It's going to be read the story synopsis below. And that signals to me that I need a Tupperware container, right? So this is me making prompts in real time. This is how my brain works. Like, oh, wait, I wanted to read something specific. I need a Tupperware container it.
As soon as you said the word synopsis, I thought to myself, you were going to need something to.
Yep, you got to
keep it on the rails.
Please place it in the tags. Synopsis. So it'll put it in the middle between those tags. So please read the story synopsis below. Because the way that Word Banger works, the top box always goes first, and then whatever's in the big bang box goes in the middle, unless we say skip the big bang box or reset the big bang box. So that's why I'm saying it's below this instruction here. So it's going to read the story synopsis below. And then because the way prompting works, especially with these open source models, your last instruction is always your most important. That's what it's going to follow the most. Give me a detailed list of characters and their distinctive qualities to write that story.
And you could probably even in a separate sequence even say, look at these detailed characters and give me their character arcs based on the synopsis, and then have it refer to both Tupperware containers to build that third instance. Oh my gosh, that's so
yeah
cool.
we'll do that. And actually, before I do this one, let's do this. Read the story synopsis below. Rewrite the ending to add the twist that she gets a new date match. So I'm going to ask it to write the synopsis, and then it's going to rewrite the ending. So it'll rewrite that. And then I will, that's a good idea here.
Yeah, because if you build the character thing, you're gonna have to build a container for it.
Yep. Joseph, if you're listening, or we'll talk later, I need to clear all AI settings on my Instas back to the default, because that's going to be annoying trying to fix those. I don't think we need the thing where we have the other one where it's all the numbers, but I think we're going to need a button to clear all the AI settings out of the, like to revert them. I guess we don't really need a button. You would just refresh your word banger. No, because then you might be running different sequences. Yep. We need a reset them all back. Definitely. All right. So rewrite the ending to add the twist, rewrite the ending to add the twist that she gets a new date match. So it'll rewrite it. And then we will say, read the story synopsis below. So we're still doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then give me a list of characters needed to write the story using specific details, and place that in the container. I call it a container. That's not right. Place it in the tags. Characters. And / characters. There we go. All right. So I think we have 3 sequences here. Enough to play with it a little bit. We don't need to skip the big bang box, but we can go ahead and change the AI settings. So real fast, we'll start off with the default to show that functionality. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go, you know what? I need to run this in Mistral. So I'm going to just make that the default. And you'll notice it did update it. So it did update the button there. So I'm good to go. It's got Mistral.
That's cool. Joseph.
We need 3 repeats because it's Insta 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to start banging at 1. So this is Mistral, everyone. Here we go. Let's see it follow the instructions. So look, it can follow the instructions for the synopsis. Isabella, and she's going to kill Daniel, a wealthy businessman. Oh, I love that. She sets up a meeting under the guise of a first date. Flees with Isabella as they're soon tracked down. Fights. She lies dying on the forest floor. What? Yeah, I'm glad we told her to rewrite it.
Yeah.
No, we don't like this story. But that's because I came with an opinion. This is what happens when you use a open source model. So I didn't give it any instructions, and it just kind of like went with that.
What does it say here? What does this actually say?
It's bad. It's terrible.
Scene 4 Isabella follows a secluded cabin in the woods where she plans to carry. Wow. However, she watches. Okie dokie.
No, she got to kill him. This is not.
This is almost at the restaurant sort of thing.
Yeah, this is not a Mary Sue situation. Okay, Isabella is a fierce assassin. She's a professional. She's gonna kill Daniel.
And it's gonna be quick.
Yeah, bullets before bros, people. So in the final scene, she fights bravely. It did do the characters, so we have here the characters and everything like that. I provided a list of characters necessary. Now, let's say I want to just go ahead and run this with a new model, and I don't want to lose all this. So what I will do is now I'm going to say, do not read the big bang box. Now I can check these if I want to individually, but that's kind of tedious. So if I just go up here and I go 1, 2, 3, and I update the word banger. Nope, my bad. There we go. Update the instas. Now all 3 of those will have the skips in there. So it's not going to read what it's already done. And I realized that that's a problem I can't do because I told it to read them. So now I have to uncheck them and fix it.
I was like, by checking them and telling them not to do it, then it's going to circle and do nothing.
All right. So if I just want to clear my big bang box, I just click the clear button, not the clear all. It's like a calculator. Clear just clears the big bang box. Clear all clears everything. Maybe we can rename this button so it says clear big bang box. That probably will make it clearer. That's a good idea.
Yeah, but don't we have a function to clear the big bang box in instance? I thought we did.
We do, but I didn't tell it to do. Like I could have programmed it to do that. I could, like, let's say I know that I want to do this over and over and over again. Watch this. So we'll do Insta 3. After Insta 3, it's going to clear the big bang box. So it'll wipe it out.
Okay.
Yep.
So after the instruction of give a list of characters needed, it will wipe it. It will wipe it out.
It'll wipe it out. So it'll be ready for the next model I want to test this on. So you could literally use Rexy. Here, I'll go back to our faces for a second. You can literally use Rexy to test all kinds of models out on your prompts, like whatever your prompt sequence is before you build that final machine in Blackjacks and commit to it. You could actually test out a lot of the prompting with your different models and see which one fits. What kind of like Cinderella after the ball, you can have your sequence in there. You can very quickly change the AI models for them, which you could kind of already always do, but now you can get more specific to where, like, if you were testing a specific sequence, you could test out just that one scene that's like the sexy scene.
Right.
Maybe you try and see if Claude will write it for you today. Maybe OpenRouter will write it for you today. Maybe they say, nah, I'm not writing it. And so then you can just go, okay, you know what, do that, do it with setting 4, let's go.
All right, so can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Here's the real question I want to ask you. Is this a machine? We've said it before, but do you honestly believe that this is a machine that anybody can play with?
Yes.
That this isn't so complicated that it might be over some people's heads, because from what I can tell, there are people, members of the NDFFA, who are like women of an older stature who would be considered little and old.
Men of an older stature too.
Men set deeply in their ways and not wanting to move forward, but trying anyway. There are people who are young, people who are of different economic means that find priority in this. I think that there is a strong community that has been built around this. I can't get enough of everybody every day. I love the effort. I told her EAW gets sick of me saying every day how much I love everybody and kumbaya and huggy hug. Like, she's like, yeah, okay, thanks, E. Keller, thank you, okay.
Michelle's in the chat outing herself with her age and saying, I'm a woman. Michelle, I'm not going to say your age out loud unless you, well, I guess you put it in the chat. Michelle's like, I'm 64. Yeah. Lynn took us to task over her age. I do think that there's, like, that's why I'm trying to fight back about this concept that Rexy's complicated. He's not. He's just not available to everyone. And there's really good reasons why he's not available to everyone, because he's very powerful. I mean, if I can sit there and in an hour make a sequence and get 32,000 words, do we really want that in the hands of just anybody?
Yeah, it could be. Well, the big thing that I keep coming back to over and over again is I don't want to read bad stuff, and neither do you.
No.
And if we produce good stuff, even if all right, so I think I know what my class is going to be. You are right, Elizabeth. You are right. I know what my class is going to be. My class is going to be on how you can improve your voice as an author and through different mediums like YouTube and TikTok and streams and reels, and really kind of own this idea of getting the good word out. This is all I've been doing. This is literally all I've been doing. I'm trying to get to the point where I can publish and actually make money doing this sort of thing. And so I'm buckling down and trying to get what I feel is what is like a master's level of education that I'm taking in the middle of my life right now. I'm 52, 3, something like that.
Deck of cards.
I'm hell yes, 52. Me. 52 years old. And it feels like a education that I need right now, because I'm a creative and I want to create in this new world that may be a television show, maybe a series of books, maybe a movie, maybe a video game. I don't know what it's going to be.
So for those who don't know, so we don't have people teach in the Future Fiction Academy who are not qualified to teach on a topic. Like, Ikello's not going to teach you how to write your first novel.
No.
Because he's still working on that. But what you don't know about Ikello is he's got a very deep background in theater, in broadcasting, in music production. He has started his own YouTube channel from scratch, monetized it in 2 months, 3 months?
3 months, about 3 or
3
4 months.
months. So
Yeah.
90 days to monetization. So that's what I asked him to possibly consider teaching to the FFA members, because
Yeah.
then those
It
who
was
are,
deep consideration too, because we had to figure out something that actually would be something that I would be qualified to teach.
yes.
And that right there, everybody should tell you that the people who are in there actually doing the work and helping, because there's a bunch of research scientists in there.
Hmm.
There are a bunch of authors in there. There are a bunch of people who are helping to develop software in there, not just EAW.
No.
Steph Pajonas is just literally interpreting the crazy Svengali that is EAW and giving it to all of us in kind of very regimented classes. Sometimes you build the thing on the fly and on live, and realize you have to write a whole bunch of stuff down, and then someone else has to like really figure out a way to show everybody else how to
Yeah.
do it. And Steph is amazing at that, and she's helping to develop the software because they go back and forth with everything, and it has to be about the author, it has to be about the craft, it has to be about whether it's going to be good product at the end. That's why I think you can't just get a sequencer and then just start spitting out a whole bunch of stuff, then you don't read it, and then all of a sudden you realize that the same thing was said 3 times in the middle of
Right.
like 2 different chapters, and you didn't read it. And this is why I'm always talking about being specific. It's much more important. It's much more important to you to create data sets and to create your own persona and create your own voice and create your own career. And the only way that you can do that is by being specific to who you are. What do you like to read? What are those things that you like to read? Read and write like you like to read, write like
Yeah.
you like to read.
And back to the topic of instructors at the Future Fiction Academy, we had the brilliant Ashlyn Elizabeth. She is a branding mastermind of serialization. She just finished a 6 session series for us on branding. That's all in the FFA.
Yeah, my
Um,
YouTube thumbnails are about to get a lot better because of her.
exactly. She's coming back in and teaching, I think, in February. We just this week had Nat Connors, Nose Croquet, as many people know him as. And he is a data scientist. Like his background was cancer research, but he then started doing marketing for books and the data and stuff like that on Kindle. And we did a deep dive on that on Wednesday night. You were there for that class. Did you learn
Man,
some new things?
yes, I learned that the people of New Zealand are so nice.
They are.
And I mean, God bless. He was so giving, and he kept explaining things over and over again if
Hmm.
we needed it to explain, because Kindle Trends is it's very specific to creating genre specific writing. What is it called?
Yeah. So it's
Writing to
for
market. Writing to market. If you want to,
it's
yeah.
professional authors who need to know what's going on in their neighborhood. That's that's what he likes to say. It's not about market research, it's about market awareness. It's
Right.
about knowing. So he sends an email every single week to someone for these different niches, and it'll tell you, like, for example, how many books per week are publishing in your category, how many are publishing with these different keywords, like is enemies to lovers on the up or is it on the down. We learned that spanking and mafia was on the up this past week, for example. So there's lots of things that are involved with self-publishing, digital publishing, being a digital creative. I think it attracts a lot of us here because we all are a little bit attention deficit, not diagnosing, but we all like the variety. I think a lot of us are creatives in the digital space because we like the variety and the interdisciplinary. We get to wear many hats. I get to wear
Yes, that's what
different
I.
hats
Yeah,
depending on what I'm doing for my company. And I
that's
think you do the
exactly
same
what I
thing.
love about my YouTube channels. I get to wear many hats. I get to
Yeah.
be a camera person. I get to be a cinematographer. I also get to write. I also get to research subjects. I get to deep dive into software. I
Hmm.
love being in the labs. Don't you love being in the labs?
I do. I
I mean,
do.
like, not just your labs. I love when I just like do a live lab, and
Hmm.
and it's just that and I love being inside of the FFA labs, and the sense of community, and the sense that you're getting something done. That's
Yeah.
the big part that I'm always like, oh, Oh yeah, and now with the new way that you put the curriculum together, where everybody gets to finish projects as you go, is pretty potent thing,
Y'all don't know how much of a labor that was to get that curriculum together. Steph
But
Jonas
it's an
and I were
investment. It's a good investment in the
we
future.
we were working over the holiday break. Like everyone's celebrating Christmas and they're off. Like we took that week off from labs, but we needed it to reset the curriculum. And now we have this 90-day curriculum, and we'll be probably in like a week or so, we're going to be working on the curriculum for the next 90 days, which I had actually an idea for a project for next 90 days. And now I can't even remember what it was, but I'm sure it'll come back to me.
Wasn't the next 90 days sci-fi time?
Unless you're teaching. I'm not doing sci-fi. No, I can do sci-fi if I need to.
I swear that there was something last quarter that someone said that there
No, I'm
might
sure. We can do some sci-fi.
be.
Okay.
I love Jeff. I love Jeff, girl. I love Jeff. I ain't saying
So
nothing about
that's
Jeff.
actually a good moment. Guys, in the description, there is a giveaway. It's not actually that great of a prize, but I thought it was a cool prize. The giveaway in the description of the YouTube video is you get to decide what the heck Elizabeth has to write in the month of February. So next Friday, I am doing a marathon session. I will be going like beginning to end on a project. It will probably be Jeff because I will be actually, I don't know that it'll probably be, it will be Jeff because Elizabeth's got to publish and I'm late and I'm behind and all that. So I'm writing Jeff on the 19th. It's going to be, bring your coffee, bring your tea. I'm going to be writing as much as I can Friday and into the weekend if necessary to get the book done. It's going to be a direct kind of comparison to the stuff that I was doing in September or even in the summertime, trying to like write that 50,000 book in a weekend or whatever. I'm going to be doing that live with Rexy.
And you're going to be using sequencing?
Oh, heck yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, heck yeah. I mean, why do you think I was pushing like, we need A slots? Elizabeth needs all of her things by January 19th.
It's like, not about y'all.
No. It's about me. Joseph likes to tease that I'm user zero. So like whatever I want, other people will too. But I am conscientious that I try to make sure everything that we build is definitely flexible for everybody else so that you don't have to write like me.
No, but the adding of the A slots is, and this is something that came up in labs. It's not like she just like, poof, it all popped into her head. Literally, there's these things that you're talking about one thing and you're going, wouldn't it be good if? Yeah. How many times have we had that moment happen in the past, like 3 weeks?
And then if people say, hey, I want this, then I'm like, okay, cool. There was actually a discussion this past week about clearing the prompter. People want a clear prompter to play with. They want to be able to clear the prompt out and be working with like a virgin prompter, like a cleared out prompter. So Joseph is adding that button. I think that's pushing tonight in the production.
Okay.
So,
all right. That's going to be interesting to see what that the benefits of that. Okay.
Well, it may not be for you because you may not use the prompter that way, but some people want the ability to just clear that prompter out without having to manually clear all the boxes out. And I get that.
I get that. I get that part. I want to sometimes run the sequence, have it auto write, get it out of there, and then clear all the prompts out and start a whole thing with a new genre. Like maybe not like sci-fi comedy, but maybe it's sci-fi comedy action, which is different, and then you add all of these other elements that are a little bit different and then see what happens.
So that way, maybe you're making like a bunch of different outlines or a bunch of different hooks or a bunch of different character lists. And then you're going to validate those and decide which ones you want so that you're putting them. Hey, kitty, you're putting them through the different prisms. Oh, you told me your cat's name last night and I've forgotten. I know she's
Gracie.
Gracie.
Yep, she's a studio cat. I've got two other cats. Their names are Peach and Fuzz, and then I have Daisy, who is my Chiweenie. But Gracie's the majestic gray thing.
Oh, very cool. I love how she just like, I'm just gonna walk across.
So she does not care.
Yeah, she doesn't care. But yeah, so this was the thing that people working differently than I do, people working in a different way, and also prompter has kind of like, I'll be honest with you, I kind of like when Wordbanger came out and I started learning Wordbanger, it was like prompter was dead to me. I was like, I don't care about prompter. But now I think prompter's back because people are using it to build components for their sequences.
Well, and it was always going to be back because as the library that we are building gets larger and more specific to specific things, you're going
Yeah.
to need to spit those things into prompter more, and that has spurred on more people and more people using prompter so that they can get these things out so they can put them into Wordbanger.
Yeah, I just want to talk about a couple things in the chat. Rochelle Ayala says that you do have to understand your own writing process and what you want to get out of it. If you only want generic stuff, then the other fill in the box stuff will work for you. Yeah, so the other software. I love you, Rochelle. And Rochelle has a background in software development and technology and documentation. She's amazing with documentation, and you should check out her books. Rochelle Ayala, Ayala. She has books on the Amazon store specifically about prompting that are fantastic. About prompting and how to build those prompts, particularly for the romance genre.
Mm-hmm.
And Miggs also is saying that Rexy sequencing is so powerful beyond fiction writing too, because there's so many uses and mediums it can be applied to. And I absolutely agree. So I think with that, we should probably get back to the story. I mean, we've just been like kind of hijacking here. And if you can't stay, I completely understand. I'm here till, well, whenever, but.
I don't have to work in the morning, so I'm good. And
Okay.
I think my wife understands that this is important to me.
All righty. Yeah. Caitlin saying she has Romancing the Beat. And by the way, Gwen Hayes is amazing. She wrote Romancing the Beat. I think it's right. Isn't that who wrote that one? Am I getting that wrong?
No, I don't think you are.
I think so. Which is fantastic. But I want to give fair warning. If you're going to use that for prompting, make sure that you adjust your prompt for the AI to say that a romance is between characters falling in love, and the central thing is falling in love for the story. You want to specify characters, main character 1, main character 2, because otherwise, if you just use kind of like the prompts, or if you use the kind of terminology in that book for prompts, the problem is that female main character, male main character, it makes all of your romances basically very traditional, very vanilla, very like expected. You can't get monster romance, you can't get menage, you can't get reverse harem, you can't get LGBTQ. So you have to tell the AI that a romance novel is about characters falling in love, and that the romance, the falling in love, is the key component of the story. Ask me how I know this with AI, because I used to have to make
you tried to do it and it failed miserably at one point.
Yeah, sometimes with some of these older prompt structures, and by older, I'm just saying like pre-AI, like stuff that's more than a year and a half old. So whether that's writing from the middle, oh gosh, Save the Cat, which drives me up the wall that people want to use that for a novel. But okay, whatever, fine, do it. It's fine. I have personal issues with it, but okay. Save the Cat is screenwriting, y'all. It's not really perfect for a novel. It's a little bit too quick for a novel. It needs a little bit more plot lines there. And the other thing I like is Superstructure by James Scott Bell. There's also the Snowflake Method, which I know Jason Hamilton, Nerdy Novelist, loves.
Snowflake Method. I read Superstructure. I loved it. I loved Superstructure. It. And it's a short read, y'all. It is. It is not. It's he does not waste your time. How about that? He does not waste your time. He tells you how to do it, and then you start. I believe that you should read a lot of structure books because it gives you this kind of like inherent idea of story that really is important when you're writing. So. Anyway.
So Kaylin meant to say Love by the Prompt, which is Rochelle Ayala's book, which thank you, Kaylin, because I could not remember the name of the book. I was like, I know she's got a romance prompting book, but I'm not going to name it in case I mess this up. So I'm like, I can spell her last name. But yeah, Rochelle has great books on prompting specifically for plot structure. And she also points out in the chat, you can't trust the AI just because it says it knows the structure. It'll lie. It'll hallucinate. It doesn't know all the structures. It'll say, yeah, I know that structure, and it'll get it like somewhat right. You really want to provide that structure in your prompting. So I love James Scott Bell. I like that you're saying he doesn't waste your time. Have you read his Starting from the Middle?
Yes.
That one's really good. He also has a self-publishing and critique book, or self-editing and critique book.
I don't know yeah.
Oh, that's a good standard, y'all. Y'all need the self-editing and critique, especially if you're going to write with AI. And here's why. That particular book is going to help you identify the bad craft that AI writes because it trained on a bunch of amateur writing that was freely available on the internet. I'm not going to say it's fan fiction writer because I'm a fan fiction writer. Not all fan fiction writers are bad writers, but there are bad writers who are fan fiction writers. And
So it's all right if I call you a fan fiction writer?
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay, I didn't know because when I said something like, yeah, she writes Jane Austen fiction. And my wife's like, fan fiction, right? I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Some people will be offended, but I just use my dollar bills to wipe those tears.
Dollar bill show.
Yeah,
Dollar bill show.
Honestly, so many things are derivative. You want to know a really funny Alice in Wonderland derivative story that was a multi-blockbuster film? They made 3 of these puppies.
Do tell.
The Matrix.
Oh, yes. 4. They made
4. I'm sorry, 4.
They made 3 blockbusters and then a 4th one.
See, so I wasn't completely wrong. They made 3 blockbusters.
Well, and it's a good one. I loved it. I loved all 4 of the films. So I'm the wrong person to be talking to if you hated the other Matrix films, but I understood what they were going for. Mm-hmm. That's one of my problems is my empathetic level for what the artist is going for. It's why I do not critique as a YouTube channel. Because
one of the biggest movies that just came out was Wonka. Wonka is Roald Dahl. It is also fan fiction because there is no origin story of Wonka in that universe. Mm-hmm. So literally fan fiction sells. So anyone who wants to be snobby about fan fiction, like I said, be my guest because I'll just be comforted with the money that I make from selling stories that people like to read.
Right. Yeah. That's not the whole point is to figure out how to write the things that are in your head and disseminate them to a larger audience who could get entertainment and enjoyment and fulfillment and even maybe just a little bit of satisfaction.
Yeah. So going back to, I'm going to go back to the computer real fast because I think we get off on tangents. We are the worst.
I'm your hype man.
I know.
I keep throwing it right off to you too. It's like we're Regis and Kathy Lee. Oh yeah, that's right, y'all. There is it used to be Regis and Kathy Lee. Now it's Kelly and Mark.
Kelly and Mark.
Yeah.
I lost the plot on this. So we were using let's see, we did Mistral, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like say
we were gonna start experimenting.
We were gonna start seeing Mythomax, so let's do that comparison next. So we'll have the same sequences.
Make sure that you don't clear the boxes because
no, we don't want to clear the boxes.
And we've been talking a while, so this might actually be poo poo pa pa.
What do you mean?
Meaning you might have to refresh and then everything might already be zapped. We've been talking.
No, it'll be all right. So I'm going to tell it to refresh the Big Bang's app box after 3 so that you guys are going to see it disappear. Actually, you won't even see it probably up here. So we're going to not do Mistral AI.
Okay.
So what I could do is I could literally set all of these to A5, but that would be like setting all 3 of them. So this is what we were talking about. So you can manually set them all to A5, or I can come down here and make it the default. And once I make it the default, you'll notice this button is updated. So now everything that is the dash will just be the default. So I'm going to go ahead and click Let's Bang. And it'll do LLM call 1. So Aria, they share a passionate kiss. She notices something's off about the place. She receives a call from her handler revealing that Alex is her next mark. Okay, I like it. This is better. See, this is why I like Mythomax. Everyone doesn't like Mythomax.
It's something about Mythomax isn't consistent. That's the problem. That's the problem that people keep running into.
So it didn't quite put it in the synopsis. Well, that one did, but it didn't do the synopsis at the top. And you'll notice my Big Bang box is empty. And it's like, oh, no. But there's a feature here. So you'll notice down here that I have link 1, 2, 3, and a 4, 5, and 6. So what this will do is these 4, 5s, and 6s are actually my my log pages. So let me show you this. So the log, and why I like log pages, and why I was like, we need a log section. It is a pain in the patootie when I'm in a flow state and I'm working with the AI and I got something really great, and the timestamps are always on different things. So this log file, the timestamp is going to correlate exactly with the auto write page. So if I'm looking at my auto write page, I can find my timestamp and I can be like, okay, this timestamp right here, the 10 on the 13th, 129 with the zeros. So if I come over to my log page and I'm going, okay, 129 on the 13th, I can click on that, and now my settings are captured for exactly what I used. So if you want to go back and redo, like, I got that good stuff. I got that good stuff. What did I set? What were my settings? I don't remember. And I don't remember to write them down. Your log is a very handy tool to have.
And all you're doing is clicking one or two boxes. You're clicking your auto write button, and you're
Mm-hmm.
clicking your log button, and then you are hunky dory for the rest of the time.
It is all about control. I'm going to put both of us on here so that they
And
can
then
see
it
our
doesn't
faces
go
now,
away.
and we'll just work on it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, control. This is about control. This is about, I need to be working. And then when I'm done working, the software should make it easy for me to do anything else I need to do next.
Feel you.
And a big thing of that is like remembering what model and everything like that you are running.
Yeah.
Let me see in the chat if we have any new chats here. Essence of Me is laughing here. So let's see. Let's look at what it came up with. The other cool feature, because remember we did that clear the big bang box. That's always very scary, right? Well, one of the things.
It is a little.
It is a little scary. It scared me. So what we have up at the top here.
Why did that one log say partial?
I'm going to explain in just. Yep, I'm going to explain in 1 second here.
Nice.
So we have this don't save the final completion. And I'm going to tell you right now, you really don't want to. The only time you would put this on is if you were running single prompts and you weren't running. And what I mean by single prompts is you're just like using this as like a chat interface. You're not doing a sequence. So we default with it off, because if you turn it on, it's not going to make you this lovely completed. So what does this mean? So the partial here is because if you ever tell it to clear your big bang box, it's always going to want to capture everything that was in that big bang box, just in case you have to go back.
Did y'all hear that? The words "just in case." That's what the whole thing is about. Just in case.
So what happened was, in this particular case, I didn't have more sequences. But let me show you what this looks like in real time. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to put a fourth one in there so you can see what functionality the partial has, because it's a little bit hard to explain it here. So I'm going to have this 4 with the characters, and I'm going to say, give me 4 title ideas for a book about a female assassin.
And this can be just a completely siloed, different
exactly
instance.
Who kills her first date.
Yeah.
So it's not going to have any of the information about it. I'm just getting some book title ideas.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is like you're building like an entire workflow.
Yep.
And since everything is unlimited, oh my gosh, girl.
I need to have a 4th, because now I want 4. I'm going to bang it again. And now on this auto write page. So now we have Cassandra, and that's okay. So I'm going to let you see it here on the auto write page, because you'll see what happens.
Will it automatically show up?
Yes, you'll see the first one come in. So there's one.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Nope, that's the first bang.
Oh.
And then the second bang will come in, depending on how long that takes. Usually it's like a minute between them. You can see between the timestamps. Any day now. There's the second bang. Man, that was only like 20 seconds, but it felt like a long time.
Well, I know. It's because we were trying. It's because we're on air.
There's the third bang. Now it did a clear, so I'm going to get a partial. So it's going to give me the partial, which is everything that was in the big bang box, and then it's going to give me another completion. Bam. And then it's going to give me everything that was in the big bang box at the end. So because we cleared the big bang box, so in other words, if you had like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it would still capture that big bang box too.
So you never lose anything.
You never lose anything. Because
you can just go through the process and then collect information for your in slots, for your so you can create a genre, you can create all of these things that can be used to create the larger story later in
Yeah.
your sequence.
The other thing that I think is really cool is that let's pretend I'm not doing this. I'm not really doing this, but let's pretend I create a page
Yeah.
and I want this to be my Notion slots.
Okay.
It's not, but we're just going to show. The other thing I like about this new methodology of these partials and completeds, I can just grab these and move them into my Notion slots. So let's say you are running something and now you have like your synopsis, your characters and settings and stuff like that. You don't have to worry about keep duplicating them because you have the completed and the partial right here. And the completed had everything. Oh, we cleared that out. Hold on a minute here. The partial has everything in here. You'll see how this has the synopsis. It'll have the rewrite and it has the characters. And then the other thing too is that, where did I get rid of it? Here's the partial. Here's where it has the synopsis and the characters.
Yeah.
So you really, this extra completion step, it allows you to in one fell swoop kind of have everything that you ran in that sequence in one document.
I totally knew you were going to say that. I must be an artificial intelligence.
One fell swoop?
Yep. I knew you were going to say that.
Well, you do watch me a lot and I do teach a lot, so I probably say it a lot.
I'm the AIW predictive machine.
There you go. But I mean, from a word hoarder's perspective, I really enjoy this because it means I don't lose my words, but it also helps me with organization because it means I can grab those individual completions, manipulate those, but I have a record of what the full sequence was. So,
and just think of all of this being enhanced and like honed to a fine tune because you're using a fine tune at some point. It's
you know what?
Thick.
Let's use a fine tune, shall we?
Ooh, let's do it.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clear all.
I literally
I don't want to clear all. I'm just going to clear the big bang box because I'm going to actually use this and say we want the novella idea, the synopsis, this, and the characters, and then 4 ideas. Okay. I'm going to use Outline Mageddon actually for this.
Yes, this is the outline that you built so that we could create really nice outlines every time. And somebody worked on a scene brief one, right?
Yes, Stacy worked on Stacer brief. I'm actually going to show something that's really new about how we learned about these temperature settings, how they are so, like, you can really bring those down, and it really helps this work better.
Is this because you're working with what is considered a much smaller data set, and so therefore lowering the temperatures kind of gives it that proportional dispersion of algorithm? You know what I mean?
So I think like we use temperature and we are using frequency penalties and presence penalties to make changes. So if you imagine like a violin, for example, right? You have the tuners up at the top. We've been using those tuner knobs before fine tunes. Oh gosh, I did fireworks. We've been using those tuner knobs before fine tunes to kind of like skew the sound of the violin, which is the large language model. When you have to have a Sonoma. Oh, no, you have to. Oh, there you go. You got fireworks too.
Go ahead.
So if you think about this as like we've been using these hyperparameters to tune our violin, so to speak, to make different sounds. Imagine when you've already tuned the strings and then you tune them again. What happens to the strings? They break.
They usually get too tight and they pop.
Yeah, tight is tight. Too tight is broke. So basically, you kind of get one or the other. We're learning. If you fine tune, your hyperparameters at those higher settings are just like way too out there because
they get way too taut.
The fine tune has already skewed the token distribution, the probabilities of certain tokens being chosen from your data set. And so those hyperparameters are just really sensitive. They're very, very sensitive. So you want to bring those hyperparameters down. Otherwise you get gibberish, which we did not know. Let me see the text here. So how can we use Outline Mageddon? How do we access it? So Migs, you are in the FFA. So that data set is in the lab instructions in December from the fine tune from the Club Strat. So it's in your archives. If you go to your Teachable archives, that data set is there. You can then load that data set into your OpenAI and you'll have the Outline Mageddon data set. We created that as a group. It is synthetic data. Watch the Club Strat videos because it wasn't really validated there's better Outline Mageddons to come. This was just the first prototype.
Which
Okay.
is it's a very important point right now. Is we have been doing some of the experiments not as scientifically regimented as we could,
No,
and
because
now
we
that
were.
we're trying to figure out where the outside boundaries of
Hmm.
what is the minimum amount you can do in order for this to be something that's viable. And well, excuse me, EAW found that one out.
Oh yes, I did. My fine tune that I did slapdash earlier this week, not great. You definitely need to validate. Like I pulled a bunch of writing samples from a bunch of different books of mine, and I
Hmm.
didn't really care how it was making the scene briefs. I didn't validate those scene briefs. I'm gonna go over the weekend and probably do Ryan's methodology. So Ryan was on the chat yesterday, the talk, and when we talked about it, he's like a professor. He's literally a research scientist, a PhD in technical writing, like corpus linguistics and things like that. So
He works
he's
perfectly in our little crazy group.
he's very, very smart. That's why I like him.
Hmm.
But he's also charming. But anyway, I like smart people, and he's very knowledgeable about a lot of the technology and a lot of the research and stuff that predated LLMs on how people would analyze language, looking for patterns, looking for frequency, things of that nature. And he's going to actually teach a lab on a concordance tool that blew my mind when he showed me, called AntConc, ANTCONC.
Yeah.
So that's coming.
It's going to be a great class, mostly because he comes from a pre-AI era. I mean, there's so many things,
Mhm.
like you were talking about the structure books and all of those things. There's a bunch of prompting books about prompting writing exercises and stuff
Yep.
like that are all like this rich tapestry of knowledge that existed way before AI that is totally applicable.
Yep.
Completely
So
applicable.
I'm going to go ahead and click the Let's Bang. So we want to make sure it matches, and it does. It's Outline Mageddon. So
Hmm.
this is going to run 4 beats. It's going to clear the big bang box after 3, and then
Right.
just have the titles. So the first one is to write the synopsis. So we
All
have
right.
Ava, good old Ava.
Assassin,
Yep.
emotions,
And this is a GPT
conflicted.
3.5 16K that was taught. It literally just wrote what my prompt was for the most part. It didn't really add a whole lot. And then 2, on their second date, didn't she already kill him?
It can't be a second date.
Yeah, she killed him. So there's no, unless she's now a necromancer, there's not a second date. And now we have deadly deception, fatal attraction. I think that's a little bit taken. Murderous matchmaking when love turns deadly. I kind of like a killer first date. That's kind of a cool title. I'm sure it's
Oh,
been used
that's a
before,
good one.
but
That's a
I don't
good
know
one.
if it is or not.
Oh, you know it is. I mean
I don't know.
that particular a killer first date.
Nope.
Hmm.
But just to make sure, because Amazon's chat is wonky, let's put it in quotation marks. And as soon as I do, then we do have someone, Alexander. No, it doesn't come up. So what is this one?
Ad. You know it's an ad.
No, it wasn't. It was just in the chat. Alexandra Harv. Let me see if I can just get that
Oh, I thought you were looking
author
on
name.
Amazon. I thought you were looking on Amazon.
I am on Amazon. Are you guys not able to see my screen that I'm on Amazon?
No, I don't know. No, nope, 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 no,
Oh,
sir.
because I'm in the wrong.
Yeah,
I'm in the wrong. Yeah, I got it.
you
Okay.
actually can't be in the wrong browser either because it won't.
I was in the
Yeah,
wrong browser, so my
yeah.
bad. Okay, so I did a killer first date, and literally Amazon is being kind of weird. Nothing came up,
Killer of the yeah.
but to make sure, because their thing is wonky, I'm going to do a quotation marks of a killer first date. This comes up, but when I click it, it doesn't give me a book. It just gives me nothing but sponsored ads. There's no book called that.
That's crazy that
It
there's no
might
book
it
called
might be
that.
something that was taken down, and the way that you can check that is you go to Goodreads, because good luck getting anything taken down on Goodreads. Ask me how I know that. Okay, so let's look on Goodreads. Sure, I'll sign in with Google. I think hopefully that works. Oh, apparently that's not. I think I had a Facebook account with it. What?
Did you?
Yeah, I don't think I can get. Oh dear. Continue with Amazon. Sign in. Oh, now I have an OTP. Really? I'm
No.
just trying to get into freaking Goodreads. This is ridiculous.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, you can't use my OTP. It's going to expire in 30 seconds anyway. Sure, you can see that. We'll allow it. And it wants me to create an account. So that means my other account's gone.
Oh, well, isn't that nice?
I feel like I need to do. You know what? I don't
You don't
really
need to do. You
use.
don't need to do that here right now, girl. We can
I
move on.
well,
We can move on.
how do you search Goodreads without using an account? There should be a guest thing. Okay. A killer first date. Oh, go away. So there did used to be a book called A Killer First Date by Alexandra Harvey that was published in 2012. For whatever reason, it's no longer on Amazon. And if you click buy it on Amazon, it doesn't. Now it does come up. So, but it's not available for sale. So it's not currently available for sale. So it's been taken down. So it turns out that title's not really taken.
That's funny.
Yep. So that's basically the rabbit hole of how you go down if something's weird on this. So somebody may have decided that they're not publishing anymore. Or they took it down and republished it as a different title. Who knows?
Yeah, that could have easily happened. So maybe you should just think about making a book that way.
Killer First Date.
Okay.
Maybe. So looking at confirming what this thing actually wrote, coming back to my auto write and coming down here, we'll look at the partial. So we had, it just copied what I had said and it didn't really do a good job. And then we have the charming man who Ava meets on a blind date, quickly develops feelings for. He's Ava's next target, a mysterious figure. And again, if I don't like that, which I don't too much,
Right.
but that model wasn't trained for that. Let's go ahead and go to GPT-4, shall we?
We're not going to do your voice.
My Jane Austen one?
Yeah.
It was trained to do a Jane Austen, so I don't know. That's going to be really kind of weird.
Well,
we'll
it's always a nice experiment.
You know what? And let me try Outline Mageddon. I did put the temperature really kind of low. Let me try 0.7 with it.
Oh, you did. You did.
Let's give it a chance because that probably made it like I have to just follow the prompt.
I can't do this. Yeah.
I can't do that.
That's better. That's better. That's already better.
She meticulously stages to leave a suicide note. She walks away from the scene. Okay, and then it's going to revise that. She ultimately chooses to spare his life, decides to fake his death and let him disappear.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, not what I wanted.
I like the first thing. I don't like the second one.
Yep. So that was that one.
But guess what, everybody? It's all saved now. It's just sitting there back on your Notion.
Yep. So a new date to match with a new man. So we'll add that to the prompt for making a change because the prompt is probably what's causing the problem at that point because they keep like the models keep thinking that she needs to be back with that guy. So, and if you want to see the Jane Austen version, what will the Jane Austen version do? It's going to be very formal, I think. Let's go ahead and bang with EAW Jane Austen. The Black Widow goes on her first date in years with a man. Okay, this sounds like me.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did who hit it? Holy.
She stands over the light like this is writing better.
What?
It's a match with a new man.
Despite the violence of the possession, of the profession, she still longs for a normal life of a chance to find love. What?
And there we go.
All right, so this is an example of what Steph was talking about in your live stream yesterday. That is the answering the question. Is this a way for you to, can you use this fine tune on several different types of genres? If you are the same voice from genre to genre, can you use that effectively on different genres? And this right here, if you're trying to write an outline or a synopsis or maybe something else, this is not a bad. Wow, that's weird.
This feels more like me, which makes sense since it trained on me. Titles are not, Miggs is saying titles is not copyrighted. I would have to check if it is trademarked.
Yeah, you'd have to judge this for real, but it's still a great thing to start out with.
It's more about what I wanted. You know, it gave a little bit of a background to this character. A female assassin known as the Black Widow goes on her first date in years with a man she met through a dating app. The two hit it off and end up back at his place for a steamy, passionate night. However, the next morning, the Black Widow receives a message from her handler informing her that the man she just slept with is actually her next target. That's what I wanted. I wanted, she has the date, and then she has to find, oh man, I got to kill him. Despite her reservations, she knows she has to follow through with the job. The story follows her internal struggle as she prepares to carry out the hit and ultimately ends with a grisly murder made to look like a suicide. And then it rewrote that last little bit.
What the hey?
As she stands over the lifeless body of her date, the Black Widow receives a new message on her dating app. It's a match with a new man, and he seems eager to meet up. She quickly puts away her tools, cleans up the crime scene, all the while thinking about the possibilities of a new date. Despite the violence of her profession, she still longs for a normal life and the chance to find love. With a renewed sense of hope, she sets off to meet her new match, leaving behind the grisly scene of her last date. The cycle of love and death continue for the Black Widow as she struggles to balance her deadly profession and her desire for a normal life.
Yeah, I thought that there would be a twist that the new agency that she signed up with is the one that sends her out on these dates, and each one of the dates is the people that she has to kill. That's why it's called the Black Widow.
Ah, yeah, and I wouldn't use Black Widow because that's definitely trademarked. Although,
No,
not
no,
in
no, no,
this
no, no.
sense, it's not because it's a spider.
I don't know if it's trademarked either.
Oh, I'm sure Black Widow is trademarked for the
But it's been
um,
used as a generic for like
yes,
Black
for
Widow,
a woman who
a
kills
woman
or
who
yeah.
carries her husband. So
Mhm.
that wasn't. I mean, I wonder.
Yeah. But anyway,
That's good. That is
it's not
good.
bad. This gives me some teeth and some bones that I could work on. So,
Now, see, this experiment has just made me start thinking again. Dear God.
yeah. So this is a fine tune that was trained on 10 Jane Austen samples, and this is GPT 16K. This is a 3.5 16K model that ran that.
Every tool
So
has its. Every job
the
has a
last
tool.
thing, it's not from the club shop from December 28th. It's from December 14th, guys. It's
Wow.
that we were doing this, guys, at the beginning of December. We were so early on fine tunes. I started talking to you guys about fine tunes December 8th. So it was December 14th club strat. And thanks, Migs. A killer first date is not trademarked, so we would be able to easily use that as a character.
The date: a man in his late 30s, charming, handsome.
Yep.
He works as a lawyer. The handler: a mysterious figure.
All right, so let me go ahead and clear that box out, and let's go ahead and check out OpenAI GPT-4 as our last little thing, because I think we'll wrap up this live because we've been on for 2 hours. So I'll use GPT-4.
Are you not going to do the preview one?
The what?
The 11 preview? You're doing just regular GPT-4, not 11 preview?
We can do turbo after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll do turbo after. GPT-4 is still, I think it's better. I think it's better for, I like this one. But you know what?
Underbelly of New York
this
City.
is on par with the same kind of quality that I was kind of getting, like where it did the Black Widow with my other one, with my fine tune. So it's giving more information here, but I like how specific this is. This is definitely better.
Think of the kit bashing possibilities.
Mm-hmm. Now the difference, this is GPT-4. Okay. So for those of you who are evaluating this and looking at it, understand that this is 10 times the cost of my fine tune, 10 times the cost of my fine tune.
So expensive.
Yes. So, which doesn't seem like a big deal when you're talking about like 2-3 cents, but when you're talking about 100 prompts or 50 prompts, it adds up quickly. And suddenly you're clicking that button and you're getting $1, $2 a click versus using a fine tune.
Well, sequencing can do that too. I mean,
Yep.
you can have a lot of instructions going all in the background, and
So it does this, and then she's the professional, leaves no trace, and as she steps into the shadows, her phone buzzes with a new match on a dating app. Another charming, charismatic man. Let's see the things. It likes a kiss of death. That's
fatal
cool.
first date, love lethal dance,
Romance and blood.
Love's lethal dance.
I don't know. Love's lethal dance.
A first
Sounds
date
like a...
to die for. Ha! Love's lethal dance. A first date to die for.
Now we have a whole series. Killer first date, a date to die for. We got a whole series going, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Just started.
Good. Oh, and you've got all of your completed everything in there. So all you have to do is take all those ideas, split them out into their own in slots, and bada boom.
You can start running with it.
Yep.
So here we have GPT-4, and then the last one that we wanted to test was Turbo. So let me make sure I clear out the titles here, so we're not influenced by them, because it'll be in the Big Bang box. So 1106 preview is your GPT-4 Turbo. So we'll go ahead and update that.
And that's at 7. You're going to have it down at 7?
That's where I ran GPT-4. So we'll keep it at 0.7.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll be fair.
Yeah.
And okay, now we've got an upscale cocktail lounge. Eva, a lethal yet alluring assassin, finds herself on a steamy first date with the charming Alex. As dawn on the second date breaks, the scene unfolds with Eva receiving her next assignment, only to be shocked as she recognizes her new mark, Alex. Third scene is a montage of Eva meticulously planning the hit, all while continuing her romantic escapades with Alex.
Wow, this one's a lot more.
Yeah, but it's so hard coded to be like, you have to really tell it this is not for a movie. Like, it likes to put in a montage. Montages aren't really easy to write in fiction. I mean, you can, but it's not really what
it's a tricky thing. I mean, to do it right.
Yeah, otherwise it just feels kind of eh. She leaves the forged note, disappearing. The last kiss was a kiss of death.
Even though I do like it when a montage is written where you like watch the one part happen, and then the second part of the montage they go back in time a little bit, so you get to get a little nibble of what actually was happening that made the weird thing happen in the other scene, that sort of stuff. I love that, but you gotta get it right.
Now this is interesting. This kind of played off of what you were thinking. So let's see the titles. First Date, Last Breath. Ooh, that's a good title.
Oh, crap. Chronicles of a Femme Fatale. Deadly Encounters, The First Date Assassin. Oh, The First Date Assassin.
Yep. All right, let's take a look at what it wrote.
Someone could write a serial killer. Someone could write a serial killer thing with that around that or something. Not that I'm a serial killer writer.
I was curious about the rewrite that it did. And this one, it does where it wanted it to have her, leaving a forged note, arranging the environment to support a ruse. As she prepares to slip away into the night, her phone vibrates. A new date match notification lights up the screen. The name of the new match makes her pause. It's eerily similar to Alex's, too much to be a mere coincidence. A photo reveals a man with a striking resemblance, but there's a different glint in his eye, one that suggests he knows more than he should. A cold realization washes over Eva. The game is far from over. Her heart, now a mix of heavy with the price of her freedom and a new sense of foreboding, leads her into the shadows with the knowledge that her last kiss was a kiss of death, and the cycle is about to begin anew.
OMG.
And then I'm the senior writing partner, and it's his twin. So she killed the wrong man in the first one because the dating things, like there was some kind of mistake or whatever. And really kind of ridiculous if you ask me as a plot, but whatever. Other things sell.
it would sell like, I don't know what. And if you could figure out a way to make that into a series, and then maybe at some point she has a cop that's like sniffing around in the third or fourth book, and she's trying to keep away from the police, and then eventually she fakes her own death and becomes a whole, there's a lot of room there for story and expounding upon and the whole 9 yards.
So I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. I know we didn't do like some big long sequence. We just kind of showed the A slots, and you got the Elizabeth Hello hour, 2 hours.
I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yes. But I think that the big thing that I wanted to leave everyone with is that Rexy really isn't complicated. And I know, like, I just had a comment today that it was like, the Future Fiction Academy is too expensive. I hear you, but my kid has to eat too. So for $159 a month, you get 4 weeks of AI training. It's 8 classes a week, plus all the added stuff of we do the Write With Me's. We do twice a month goals and motivations, or business planning and things like that. We also do special guests that are tops in their fields for Kindle trends, marketing, and everything. I really think the Future Fiction Academy is like, if you could go to a writer's conference every single month without leaving your living room.
It's exactly what it feels like.
That's what the month slate of labs and things are. So you can go down, because there's 32 of them every month. And most of us who go to author conferences, you usually have like 32. You have like 8 sessions a day that you get to pick from or whatever, and there's like different tracks. With the FFA, everything is recorded, and not only is it recorded, we cut it up so you don't have to watch all 30 minutes at one go. We give you an AI transcript. We give you the key points. We give you the notes so you can skim that stuff, because ain't none of us got time to sit through 4 hours of video.
I was doing it today. I was like, oh no, I know all of this stuff. I need to
Yes.
get to the good stuff. Where's the good stuff at? Oh,
Mhm.
there it is.
There's a word that I don't know.
That's something I don't know. And when you're looking at each one of the teachable videos, there's a actual summary of everything that you're going to see inside of that video under the video. So
Yeah.
you can read and go, I've got all of this. I know all of that. And then you can determine where in the course you do actually really need to start. So I think
And
I
if
just
you're
said that twice, but
still lost, because let's face it, sometimes we don't even have time for that. Every single lab you come to, the first 15 minutes is open for questions, and the last 15 minutes is open for questions. And those questions are not just on the lab. No. Those questions are on anything. So if someone comes to my lab on Word Banger, but they're like, Elizabeth, I have a question about my personal prompt library. It's like, okay, what's the question? And then I figure out if I can answer it in the first 15 minutes, or if it's the last 15 minutes, or if it's something that, or I can refer them back to something where I know that resource is, or if we need to like schedule a quick like one-on-one for 15-20 minutes at some point so that we can get them caught up or whatever's going on. So it's really, it hurts me a little bit with the people who are just like, this is too expensive, because it's a team of people who are dedicating their livelihoods to this brand new technology and trying to bring it to authors. And it's like,
and
we
frankly, it's
deserve,
hard work. It's
yeah,
hard
we
work.
deserve to make a living wage too.
It's a hard work. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do. This research is we're trying to benefit everybody. It's like not a. I'm literally about to teach a class that helps us people inside of the FFA disseminate this knowledge out to everyone. You know, all of these prompts that we're talking about, this prompt library that we have, this exclusive prompt library, all of those things are built out so that they can just be spit out into anything, anybody's playground that you want. You can put them in OpenAI. You can even put them inside of Open Router's playground and cut and paste a whole bunch of different things. And so I understand the apprehension, but if you think about it this way, once you publish your first book and it does either well or bad, then make your decision. Make your decision. Say, do I need help with the marketing of that book? Do I need help just with the blurbs and the idea of how the book should be formatted? Do I need help just coming up with something that I should write that is perfect to market, that won't fail, like my first book or my second book or my first 5 books or whatever?
Yeah.
And this could be a very great knowledge base for that sort of stuff.
And there's things that you won't find information out on, because education and publishing is very hard to come by, like actual good
Go try to find it.
publishing.
Go try to find it. Go try to find it. Go.
But we have inside of the FFA combined like decades of experience, and it's people who like, hey, I've got the series and I don't know why it's not selling, and people with experience can immediately go look at it. And it's not like these other big huge, there are some big Facebook groups out there that I'm a member of, that are, you know, they've been around for a long time, and basically you post something and everyone's got an opinion on why it's not selling, and you'll get like 6 different reasons why your cover should change or whatever. The FFA is going to say, well, do you have your comps? And so, and if you don't know what your comps are, then we're explaining, okay, well, a comp is what other books do you know of in the store that readers of those books would like your book? And if your answer is, no, my book is for everyone, honey, that's where you are broken down and lost, because there's no such thing as a book in the store for everyone. Books have target audiences.
There are people, there are instructors in the FFA who have sold over 40 books themselves, by themselves. You know, without the help of artificial intelligence, without the help of any of this stuff going.
What do you mean over 40? You mean 40 titles?
Yeah, 40 different
Oh no,
titles.
there's people in there that with hundreds of titles.
No, I know. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
Steph and
I was just giving a median sort of example of the type of people. Well, but I'm talking about instructors, people who are helping you to.
Mhm.
They've been there. They've
Yes.
done that. That's the stuff that this. It feels like a mastermind to me. It feels like a thing that is helping me get this knowledge that really honestly nobody wants to tell you. they
No, they
want to
don't.
they want to sell their own books. They want to and the people who are selling you the things that say they want to tell you these things are telling you stuff, but there's no comprehensive hand holding. There's no comprehensive way to just go back and look at like retaped things. I mean, you can reread books, but you'll never get to talk to the author about that book. And now
And
you
yeah,
can be
and
in the FFA and do that.
the goal of the Future Fiction Academy definitely is for people. We don't want you to move on. We love everyone. We want people to stay in the community. But I'm an author myself, and going back to that analogy, I won't repeat it again. But I don't want to set a system up where you are dependent on the Future Fiction Academy.
Hmm.
I want you to be able to take your prompts elsewhere. I want you to be able to publish and like maybe decide, okay, I don't need to be a member of the FFA anymore. I can go to alumni status, and I'm going to keep working on it. And then, when you decide you need back that continuing education, you can come back in. We've actually had a bunch of members who were with us at the beginning. They took a break because they were on deadline or whatever, and then they've rejoined. And we have a
Because life
policy.
happens.
Yeah, but we've also had people. This is my favorite. I canceled and I didn't mean to. Can you let me back in? And we have to be like, well, unfortunately, Teachable makes that terrible. You have to wait till it ends and then restart. But the last little thing is the last little thing that I'll say is I saw a notification. I'm the worst about that. I see a notification and I can't see it. The other thing I was going to say is that we also have a policy where if you do need to take a break from the FFA and you let us know, you email Dean at futurefictionacademy.com and you say, hey, love the academy, but I need to take like a 3-month break or something like that.
She's
What?
the dean. She's the
Oh
dean.
yeah. Well, more of us answer that email than just me, but yeah, I'm the dean. But the other thing is that we will honor whatever price point you're at.
Mhm.
So we've had people who were there at day one, who came in at $99, who had to leave, and then we're like, hey, I can come back now, and we've honored them coming back at that price. So even if this does increase in price or something like that, then you can be grandfathered in at your tuition. But you do need to let us know, because we need otherwise any Tom, Dick, or Harry could say like, I was a part of the FFA in October, and so there we go. So that's why. So
I've enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me.
thank you for popping in. Thank you for being so adaptable. You were just like, yes, girl, I'm on it.
Yeah, I was like, I was in the middle. I was having a cracker or something. I was like, oh my god, yeah, sure. And I just ran around, and I was here. I appreciate I appreciate everything that the FFA has done for me, and so I absolutely love lending a hand anytime I can.
Awesome.
It's a great community, and as you know, I love to use the L word. I love those people over at the FFA, and they, I think, love me.
Oh yeah,
So
we love Semi Kello. I mean, Stacy jumped on your live stream. You like
it
threw
was
out the bat signal, and
amazing.
they're
It
like,
was
I'll be there.
amazing. It was
So
amazing. It
with
was
more
so awesome.
heads up, I think more FFA members would join you on your live streams.
Yeah,
Um,
you know who my favorite. I'm gonna say this, and I'm sure he's listening right now. You know, one of my favorite people is on the
who?
FFA, Jorge.
Jorge's
I love
love
Jorge.
Jorge.
I love Jorge so much. Such insightful questions on topic,
Mhm.
always engaged, always present in the moment. He's just awesome. He's awesome. He's awesome. So
Jorge's amazing. I have to say, if I had to vote, we should do like an award show of like all good superlatives. So my superlative for most dedicated FFA member would go to, hands down, Ingrid.
oh my God. That
And
is
she's in the chat. She's in the chat
absolutely
right now, so she's hearing you.
absolutely Ingrid. What I love about Ingrid is her matter of factness about every question. She's like
Mhm.
and her lack of fear. So she does not care if anybody else perceives whether it's a stupid question. She's
Nope.
gonna know it. She's gonna know it now, and she's gonna know it as quickly as
Yeah,
possible.
I love Ingrid.
I love Ingrid.
Ingrid makes every lab really engaging. I'm going to keep throwing out superlatives from people I see in the chat.
Yeah,
I find Migs to be extremely supportive.
yeah.
Migs is always cheering people on. Like when people post something, I see him responding in the community and saying like, "Hey, that's cool." We also have Harper in the house, and I'm going to give Harper the superlative of practical application. Harper takes what's in lab and then she has like a production, like, yeah, I did a book, I finished that book, or I finished that fine tune, or I did this. Like she always has the practical application down pat.
Man.
Harper is going to take what's in lab and she's going to make sure that it works for her. So, and then we also have Rochelle Ayala in the house, who's always really fantastic with documentation. I'm jealous of her documentation abilities. I'm not going to lie. Like her step by step, I'm like, I want her brain. I think Rochelle and I need to have like a powwow on sequencing. By the way, she told us that while we were talking, she's just been sequencing prompts and just getting writing done. So,
Yeah, and
been doing.
there is we probably need to have a definite we have these video channels that are inside of the Discord that we can do these things where we can write with me's and just talk and just have conversations and stuff. I had one with Michelle the other day. Me and Michelle
Yep.
talked for like a half hour, 45 minutes in one of those rooms about writing and stuff like that and life and stuff because we're all friends. That's one of the things is that we're finding that we have mutual interest and likes, and the support is crazy. Because I mean, imagine being a person who's trying to learn how to be a writer, and you find this thing that could help you speed up the whole process of learning how to be a writer, and then all of these other people hate you for it, for wanting to do this thing. And the support I've gotten from her especially has been one of the best things with this whole thing, and everybody in the FFA. It's just been wonderful.
Yeah, I think that these are the early days of building our networks, building our professional networks of who's running with AI and who's going to be successful with AI in a way that serves readers well. And I wanted to give out one last superlative kind of to wrap up the chat because Lynn Jordan's in the house.
Oh,
And
Lynn.
so this superlative, I'm going to try not to like tear up on this one. So
Don't do it.
Lynn is someone, the superlative I'm going to give her is probably the FFA member I most look up to. Lynn is who I want to be when I grow up. Lynn was instrumental in helping me kind of claim my worth and understand that what I was doing in this space and moving forward and stuff was something that needed to happen. Going back earlier before I started the Future Fiction Academy in those earlier days that were a little bit more troubling for me. So Lynn is someone that when I see her pop into lab or when I see her in chat or just like on the live stream now, because I know she's West Coast, I'm like, oh, good, Lynn's here. I have Lynn's approval. So
Lynn's West Coast. Where she reside?
she's
This
in
California?
This is why I want to be Lynn when I grow up. Lynn has multiple houses. Yeah,
I want to be
Lynn when I grow up.
Hey Lynn, I want to be where you are.
Lynn, I'm not gonna out you. Oh, now Jude's in the chat too, and now I got to give Jude.
Oh, Jude shows up on my live streams on a Sunday, and I have to give her the hey Jude.
Okay, so Jude gets the superlative. I gotta say, Jude makes all of my lives just about. So Jude gets the superlative of live stream cheerleader. Like they are always in the live stream chat. So
that's so awesome.
Count on Jude. All right, everyone. Thank you so very much. We hope to see you in lab soon or on another live stream here. A little bit of a sneak preview. Monday here. So we'll say goodbye to Akello, and if you want to say goodbye, I'll take you off the stage so I can do the last little announcement and leave you in here. Yep.
I'm doing all the stuff. All the stuff.
All right. We'll say goodbye to Akello and make sure you check out his YouTube channel,
the Future Fiction Factory, everybody, where we help you create your own IP through all different types of apps, including Rexy.
Yes. So check his channel out because he does all the tools. So we'll say goodbye to Akello.
See ya.
All right. So last little couple of updates. Again, next Friday will be the marathon running for me because I got to write a book. Also, Monday, I am doing more Rexy Labs at Monday at noon. You can check out the calendar. I also know that Steph, I think, is kicking off her serialization project. We are also in our third session on fine tunes. Also, don't miss Leland. Leland is finishing up his project, the 3-week project on how to bring an existing series into artificial intelligence to start working with it. I always tell people and give advice like you have to take those old books and you have to put them into a function or into a format that the AI can understand. Leland has your lab for you, and his prompting on that is chef's kiss. I was really impressed when he was showing me all of that. We also have a full week next week of lives here on YouTube. So you can catch me on Monday morning at 10 a.m. Then you'll catch Michelle H on Tuesday and Wednesday, also at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then on Thursday, I'll be back here at noon. And then Friday is the big day. So check out the calendar that's in the notes. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe. If the weather's going to be really wacky where you are, please make sure you have enough supplies and everything like that. And I will see you soon. Bye.